Now, those 150,000 Palestinians, whether Christians or Muslims, are not allowed to leave the region without permits, and we rarely get permits to leave the region. So it's a big penitentiary, and this is another violation of our human rights to free movement. This has very deep repercussions on our economic life. We don't have jobs. I mean, when you put 150,000 people in 5 square miles, you kill them economically. So unemployment is very high in our society, and we're talking about 38%. This is the rate of unemployment in our. And this situation made many Christians emigrate. If you come to the United States, you'll find many Palestinian Christians all over the place. All of my family live in the United States, actually. I'm the only one who remained back there in the Holy Land. Actually, I went back to the Holy Land because I chose to stay in the Holy Land, to serve and to help my community back in the Holy Land. The continuous military occupation has severe repercussions on our economic life, social life, political life, is pushing everybody to leave the country. And this is the biggest challenge for us Christians of the Holy Land, because our community is in constant demise. We are sure that our existence there is by God's will. He wanted us there to continue witnessing to His love and to His salvation in the land He chose to be His homeland. So we know God is there, and God is calling us to be there, so He'll take care of us. But at the same time, emigration is shrinking this community to an alarming rate.
And what do you think is a solution? How can, for instance, how can American Christians help their fellow Christians in the Holy Land?
First of all, I'd love for all American Christians to understand that we Palestinians, we are searching for peace. And we are ready to compromise. And actually, within the agreements of the peace process that started in 1993 in Oslo, there were a lot of compromise and of acceptance of the existence of the Israelis, the Jewish people there. What we are asking is to share the country. This country 100 years ago was ours. We were the only inhabitants of the country. There was a very tiny Jewish community, Palestinian community in Palestine at the turn of the century. Back in 1948, I'm talking about some 52 years ago only, we were majority in Palestine. It's only in the aftermath of the 1948 war that some 1 million Palestinians were expelled, were kicked out of the country. And the State of Israel was established back then. Then another time, twice in a lifetime, they got expelled from their own country in 1967. Another 700,000 Palestinians, many of them were Christians, left the country. I could tell you in 1948, Jerusalem had 25 to 28,000 Christians. Today, Jerusalem has less than 11,000 Christians. So Christians are leaving because of this. Now back to your question, what are we asking? We're just asking for our internationally recognized rights to be implemented. Israel has implemented their rights. Now, the issues we are discussing with Israelis are the refugees, the issue of Jerusalem, the borders, the water, and the settlements. And Palestinians are accepting the formula, land for peace. Well, you took our land, give us back a part of this land, so we could be able to build ourselves, our nation. What you took in 1948 is yours now. We accept it as fact on the ground, but at least give us back what the international community is recognizing for us.
Yes. And I'm wondering if you could also talk about why it's so difficult to get housing. I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine who just got back from the Holy Land, and she said, Nick, it's very apparent there are apartment buildings built that are vacant.
This is true.
And she said, it's very apparent that they're not for the Palestinians.
This is true.
Why does it take so long to get housing? And isn't this illegal?
Actually, what's happening in Jerusalem is a Judaization process. And part of it is a blatant negation of the universal character and status of the city of Jerusalem. Israelis are claiming that Jerusalem is exclusively Jewish. So Christians and Muslims has nothing to do in Jerusalem. Well, it's not true, because if you come to East Jerusalem, it's an Arab city. Now they are trying to create a Jewish majority in the city. So they are confiscating lands and building settlements for the Israeli newcomers who would come either from the United States or from Russia or from Africa, from all over the place, and they have all the rights to live in Jerusalem. They'll get a new apartment, they get a job, and they are welcome there. When the people of Jerusalem, the Palestinians of Jerusalem, either Muslims or Christians, are not allowed to build in Jerusalem.
And what is the reason they give?
Well, they have all kinds of rules. For instance, the latest was that if you don't have the center of your life in Jerusalem, then your ID will be confiscated. And they did. And they confiscated thousands of Jerusalem IDs because of this. I mean, they use many illegal instruments to confiscate your right in living in Jerusalem. And this is just to create an Israeli, a Jewish majority in Jerusalem, so that they could tell the whole world, Jerusalem is ours, you Christians, you don't belong here, you Muslims, you don't belong here, Jerusalem should be for us Jews and should be under our sovereignty, we Israel.